Tributes have been paid to Andy Rourke, the bass player with the band The Smiths, who has died at the age of 59 after a lengthy illness with pancreatic cancer. He played with The Smiths throughout the 1980s. Our entertainment correspondent Colin Patterson looks back at his life.
The joyful, lolloping, often funky bass lines of Andy Rourke, accompanying the doom-laden lyrics of Morrissey. The juxtaposition of melody and mournfulness gave the Smiths their unique sound and made them arguably the most influential British indie band of the 1980s. The Killers, Oasis, Suede would not have existed without the Smiths. It was 40 years ago this week that the Smiths released their debut single, performing it on the Tube. They would split 4 years later. Drummer Mike Joyce was the other half of the Smiths' rhythm section and flew to New York in February to see his friend after hearing how ill he was.
He never saw himself as a great bass player because it was so effortless for him and so easy for him. He just put the bass on and magic would happen. Hand in Glove, the first record that we ever released. You know, what is he doing?
How will you remember him?
I'm so proud of what he's contributed towards music, and I'm so proud that he was my mate.
The Salford Lads Club became intrinsically linked with the Smiths after the band were photographed there for the Queen is Dead album. Andy Rourke would often revisit the venue. Today fans have been arriving to pay their respects.
Just takes me back to when I was 13, listening to that first album. So it's very sad news.
Very upset actually, because I grew up with the Smiths, followed the Smiths all my life.
It's almost like the Fab Four without one of the members, so I just feel it's kind of quite sad.
Andy Rourke was 23 when the Smiths split. He would go on to play with the Pretenders, Sinead O'Connor and Badly Drawn Boy. Despite working again with Morrissey, he would have an acrimonious legal battle with the singer and the Smiths guitarist Johnny Marr. Morrissey has paid tribute, saying that Andy Rourke will never die as long as his music is heard, and that he didn't know his own power, adding that at the end of it all, we hope to feel we were valued. Andy need not worry about that. As a teenager, Andy Rourke worked in a timber yard to earn the money to buy a bass amp so he could join the Smiths. It turned out to be a rather good investment. His place in British musical history is secure.
Andy Rourke, who has died at the age of just 59.
The brilliance, or the musical brilliance, of Smiths bassist Andy Rourke was remembered today after his death at the age of 59. With childhood friend Johnny Marr, Rourke helped define the band's unique sound and influence a generation of British groups. Those who knew him best also remembered his beautiful song. He passed away in New York after a long illness with pancreatic cancer. Our entertainment reporter Rishi Davda looks at his impact and his legacy.
But I haven't got a stitch to wear.
His bass was part of the foundation on which the Smiths built their success. With guitar in hand, Andy Rourke effortlessly cemented a place in musical history. He started playing at just 7. Befriending Johnny Marr at 11. Johnny and Andy, along with Morrissey and Mike Joyce, made up the Smiths. The Manchester band would go on to have 2 #1 albums. It was Johnny who announced Andy's death. Paying tribute, he said, "Watching him play those dazzling bass lines was an absolute privilege and genuinely something to behold. But one time which always comes to mind was when I sat next to him at the mixing desk, watching him play his bass on the song The Queen is Dead. It was so impressive that I said to myself, I'll never forget this moment." Honouring Andy, Morrissey said that he will never die as long as his music is heard, and that at the end of it all, we all hope to feel that we were valued. Andy need not worry about that. The Smiths split in 1987. Later in his career, Andy joined Freebase, playing alongside Manny from the Stone Roses and Peter Hook from New Order.
Andy was always the people person. He was always the one who appreciated what they'd done, what they were doing. He was very happy to talk to anyone about it. He loved to play. It was like, it wasn't in any way for him a trial or a tribulation. He wasn't tortured by it the way that some of us are. He just loved what he did, and he would do it whenever he could.
Andy's known for his intricate melodies, but will be remembered for his gentle soul.
Smith's bassist Andy Rourke, who's died aged 59.